Was Elvis Presley a bad man? Let's talk about it. Over the 46 years since Elvis has passed, the media has continually put out misconceptions about Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll. They have made up many lies and made him out to be a horrible man, and they always seem to paint him as the bad guy. Now, Elvis Presley was not perfect by any means, but Elvis was not a bad guy. Elvis was actually a very good human that really cared about others, and he cared about the impact he had on them. There's so many reasons why Elvis was a good man, but here are the top 5 that I think of when I think of Elvis. Number 1 is the biggest one. He never denied the existence of our Heavenly Father and Jesus Christ. Anytime anyone would call him the king, he would correct them and say, no, Jesus Christ is our king. And so that is one of the big reasons that made him such a good man. Number 2, most Elvis fans know this, he was very kind and very generous to others. Countless times he gave people cars, bought them cars, and the people around him, he bought them houses and, cars, and he bought his friends horses. He was very generous, very giving towards others. Number 3, his music touched so many people's souls, and he knew that, and that was one of the big reasons he performed, was because he knew the effect it had on others. Number 4 is very simple, but it was the fact that he loved his daughter. You could always tell while he was alive that he loved her very, very much, and he'd always talked about how much he wanted to be a father. And number 5, he was always so kind to his fans, and he made sure to let them know that they were the reason he was famous, they were the reason he had the life he had, and that he was thankful for them, and he always did whatever they wanted. Those are just a few reasons why Elvis was a good man. Now let's talk about the different misconceptions about Elvis that has been made in the media, in books, in movies, and all of that kind of stuff. Number 1 is a big one, and it is the one that makes me the most infuriated. Number 1 is that he was a pedophile. I will first say that that is 1000% not true at all, and I'm sure a lot of you know what I'm talking about, is where the media has said that he's a pedophile because of how old Priscilla was when they met. Now, if you read anything about him, you know that they did not do anything until they were married or she was old enough. He was not a pedophile at all, not even one bit. Elvis was a very, very good man. He made quite a few mistakes, I will say that for sure, but he was not a pedophile. Number 2 was that he was a racist. And if you are an Elvis fan and you know your history of Elvis, you know that he was definitely not a racist at all. He did not even pay attention to the color of people's skin, and he did not steal Black people's music either. Which leads me into number 3, that he was a cultural appropriator, which I know for a fact that he was not. I was not alive back then, but he did not steal people's music. He took it, made his own, and there's countless videos of him saying, giving credit to these artists that made these songs. And I do not think he was a cultural appropriator whatsoever. Number 4 is another lie that people have said, that he did not do any actual work in the army. A lot of people say that he just went over there to perform and just, be Elvis Presley, when in fact that was not the case. I mean, you can look up in depth about the people that served with him, and they said he was such a hard worker, and he actually came out there to serve, not just to be an entertainer. And number 6 is a big one. I know a lot of Elvis fans believe this as well. It is the fact that people think that he faked his death and that he is still alive. I personally do not think this is true whatsoever. I do not think Elvis would have done that to his family. He loved his daughter and, his fiance that he was with, and I still think he loved Priscilla at the time. But especially with his daughter and his father, I do not believe he would have done that, because I feel like that's, evil to just fake your death. And I don't think he's alive. I think he dealt with a lot of issues back then, and his health was just not good, and he passed away. So that is the last misconception that I just do not think is true. To end this video, I will say that I fully believe that Elvis was a very, very good man. He did make a few mistakes that I, do not condone, but I think that he is up in heaven right now with Christ, and I think he knows the mistakes he made. But he was definitely not perfect. None of us were. But Elvis was not a bad man. He was a very, very good man, and he touched a lot of us with his music, his personality, and just the way he was. I love Elvis very much, as you guys can tell, and I am so happy to continue talking about him and hopefully help keep his legacy alive for a very long time. So, as always, thank you so much for watching, guys. I appreciate you being here on my channel. Make sure to like and subscribe and even turn on those post notifications because I have a lot of awesome videos coming up and I want you guys to see. So if you like this video as well, share it with your friends so they can watch it too. Thanks so much, and I will see you guys in the next video.